Hey, my name's Andrew, and today we're going to be installing an SES suspension upgrade on this GM1500 truck. Alright, so this is what we're going to be installing today. It's a GMRTT15S, and this is our severe service kit. This is really meant for applications like a salt spreader or a sliding camper, something that's really top heavy. If you don't have one of those things, do not use this kit. Use the regular GMR CK15S part number. All right, now this part number is really simple to install. All we got to do is first jack up the truck a little bit to give us enough space to work under there, take out the existing bump stop, and then slide this guy in its place. The only tools we need for this job are a 10mm socket and a 17mm socket. If we got that, we're good to roll. All right, so what we've already done is we've lifted up the truck and we've put a jack stand on there just for safety, and lifting up the truck is just going to give us a little bit of room to get our socket in there. With the extension on there, it's kind of hard to position it in there. And now we're going to take off the existing OEM bump stop, and all we're using here is a 10mm socket with an extension on it. All right, so now we've switched over from our 10mm socket to our 17mm socket. We've assembled all the pieces to our SES suspension upgrade here. We've got our spring, our spacer, and our steel disc, along with our piece of hardware here, our bolt, to get it up in there. And all we gotta do is just put it in the place of the old OEM bump stop. All right, so you gotta find that hole, and then you're just gonna want to kind of tighten it up just with your finger. Reach in there with your finger and tighten it around for a bit, just so you can get it to hang at least by itself. And once you got that far, you get your socket. You don't want to over tighten it. You just want to make sure that it's nice and snug in there, okay? All right, the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna lower the truck to see if we've got 1 inch of space here. We're gonna want 1 inch of space from the bottom of this spring to the top of the axle, so that when you're empty and you've got nothing in the bed of your truck, you're not gonna get a harsh ride. So let's double check that. All right, so we've lowered the truck and we see that we've got roughly 1 inch of space in there. So that's ideal, so that when you're totally empty, you're not gonna get a harsh ride. And now when you put on that salt spreader or sliding camper, this guy is going to engage and start doing its work, keeping your truck sitting nice and level.